Okay, we're back for part 3. We're at the Herman. Been there 28 years, okay. New Haven High School, and we're actually on the stage. Look better if the backboard was not here, but this shows you all of the banners. And Kyle and Keith, when he walked in here, was like, they moved the banners around. Where are we at here? So they kind of organized them. You know how they're kind of spread all over before? So I think they did a very good job of how they're, at this point, where are you gonna put them if you win any more? It was like, you're gonna have to take out Home of the Shamrocks or something on the walls. But
gym looks good.
Yeah, so.
Fans, AC.
Yeah. Can you remember back in the day when there was no AC or fans? And God, it was like
we had to rough it. That's all we did was rough it.
Especially on Wednesday nights, like in August or whenever they start open gyms.
That's why the kids are soft today.
That's right.
So Keith moved up to varsity a sophomore year. You would have been a junior. I'm going to go through the roster, and then we're going to talk about what you guys did over summer, and then we're going to get into the meat of the season again. So you had, was Dustin in your class, or was he a year? He was in yours?
He's in our class.
So Dustin Block, Keith Davis, Adam Garner, Kurt Cook, Dustin McZook, Jeff Muir, Tom Plummer, Tim Shear, Ben Steiger, John Veland, which would have been JV, I guess. And
so a lot of those guys, even from my class, they moved up at the end of the year, like in districts.
Okay. And then you had Kyle Wolfe.
I'm going to say, because we were not deep.
Nope, that's the wrong year.
I was going to say, you got the
wrong year.
That would have been 99.
Let me go back. I'm looking at here. This is the one that Keith gave me. So let's go start it again. You had Dustin Block, Keith Davis, Corey Green, Tony Gumper, Kurt Cook, Jeff Muir, a lot of them the same. Tom Plummer, Tim Shear, Chad Sider, John Veland, Kyle Wolfe, and Josh Sedastro. So
Corey Green.
He moved up in districts.
So when you broke your wrist, and you told me earlier, but I forgot.
So
did you go to you went to the doctor immediately after the season was over, or when did you say you went to the doctor?
I broke my wrist, the third or fourth game of my sophomore year. Played the whole year, played baseball. Lifting weights going into my junior year. During that summer, I did something to it. Knew it was hurt. We went to a summer league game. Told coach I couldn't play. I said, there's something wrong. I said, I'm going to have to go get it looked at again. Well, long story short, I went and got it looked at. And that I had broke it. That third or fourth game of my sophomore year, it tried to heal and had not healed all the way, and then it re-broke. So I had to be put in a cast for, I think, upwards of like 3 months, somewhere in there. So I could not play beginning of the year. I didn't come back till after the first of the year of my junior year.
So same thing, you guys.
Did you not play with us that summer then either?
No.
Where did you guys do summer camp? Was it up at Fayette
We
again?
played at,
No.
I don't remember we went there, but we were playing up at Francis Howell.
Francis Howell, yeah.
Okay. Did you guys still go to St. Clair back in the day, or we always went to St. Clair, Troy, and.
I don't think we did that with you guys, but we ended up going back there before my senior year. But I don't think we did.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember.
So you did the same thing. You guys played basketball like crazy, probably in driveways and everything else over the summer.
Yeah, Tim was.
That's all we did.
So
we didn't have cell phones.
Going into that sophomore year, I went to the 5-star camp, and Tim was supposed to go with me, but he was hurt. He had hurt his ankle or something. So I had never flown on a plane before. And so this is my first time flying. Tim couldn't go anymore because he got hurt. And then so it was Wichita, Kansas. We were 57 minutes in the air.
Told me that.
So I don't think we even reached like peak altitude. But yeah, so I went to that, and but I went by myself. It was crazy, but it was a good experience. I made the orange-white, the All-Star game, the Classic game, and then I won top playmaker there. So it kind of helped a little bit because then I knew I was moving up to the varsity. Kind of had a little confidence because, I lacked confidence.
Yeah, I know.
Coming in. So we
understand.
That sophomore year, though, yeah, it was different.
So you guys won, other than Baines, primarily Baines, Chris and Dora and Mike Baines. You had everyone back with the addition of Keith and a few other ones. So you're probably like, you know what? Potentially we could at least be as good as we were.
Yeah.
Going forward. So
it was Kurt, Dustin, and myself were new to the team that year.
And then we had myself, Tim, Tony, and Josh.
So he definitely lost some size, but I mean,
we
Curtin
played-
Dustin still, 6'3".
So looking at you, Keith, you played in
So I was all over the
31
place.
games. Who would have been the starters that
So
year?
I started when he was out, and then when he came back, I came off the bench. And then
Did
I
you
guess
replace Kyle and Josh when you came off the bench, or did Josh play primarily the whole game, or who would you have subbed with?
Tony or
Did you have 3 guards at the time?
a lot of
Okay.
times I played with him and Josh.
Okay. When you were in your cast, did you do any conditioning to get you? Hey, as soon as you get back, we want you in.
I did
Could you? I assume you could still run.
Yeah, I can still run.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I
did
did
you?
all that.
Were you at practice every day and you just ran,
Yeah.
or helped maybe? I know you were limited on what you could help with
Yeah,
the
I
cast
couldn't
on
do,
it.
couldn't do a lot, but yeah, I remember running and
Okay.
staying in shape.
So you start out with, again, Wellsville, and that would have been here because you said you went there. 68-54, and then right away, the first game in Montgomery County tournament, you play Wellsville again. Now this time you almost beat them by 40, 75-38.
Throttled.
Yeah.
So coach was probably, hey, the little redemption for you guys giving up 676 to Bell. No more defensive practices
No.
so far.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
And then you played Warrenton, and you guys beat them 65-52. For some reason, I think I watched you guys, and was Bowling Green big, or no?
Warrington
were.
was big too.
Weren't they pretty big, or
Yeah, Bowling Green was big. Did we win that game?
you guys won the championship in the Montgomery County tournament, and you guys beat them 49-46.
It was close.
So then you guys get in conference, and you guys was Brinker's. He didn't give me the all. You guys beat them 53-50, which would have been here.
Yeah, that game was ugly.
So
was
did,
Tim didn't make a field goal until the fourth quarter of that game. And I think Josh was like 9 of 10 from the free throw line at the end of the game. It was a terrible shooting game
I
for
think
everyone.
Tim probably had his worst high school basketball game ever.
Yeah,
He
that
could
game
not
was
make a shot.
terrible.
Did he continue shooting, or did he get to points like I don't want to shoot anymore? You don't understand?
No,
It
shooters
was-
shoot.
I remember he
shooters
was-
shoot because he made a couple shots in the fourth quarter that were huge.
Yeah, but I remember him missing a couple layups, just absolutely wide open layups. Like you see those when you're lacking confidence.
Yeah. Josh's free throws pretty much saved that game though.
So then you guys play Herman next, and you guys won 59-33.
I think
If you have anything to add about the other games,
I
we
do
talked
because
about.
I think after that Washington game is when we found out you were going to be able to start practicing again.
Which would have been, by that point, you guys would have been in December already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was because we were thinking you weren't going to come back till after Christmas
Or
break.
Christmas break, maybe, because I don't know if you guys played Callaway.
His first game was Callaway.
Okay.
Was it?
Yeah, you came back at South Callaway because I think you had 12 points.
Did you guys,
Remember that?
A memory like a computer.
this is weird. Did you guys play in the Callaway tournament?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because it goes from Herman to South Callaway, 59-28. Were they maybe down on teams? But then you play Pacific right afterwards. Or did you play some games in between your conference or your tournament games like they do every once in a while?
Did we have a bye that year for some reason? They only had 7 teams,
I have
and we were the 1 seed.
no clue.
So that means according to this, you only played one game up there.
No,
If
we
it's-
won't.
if
That
it's
ain't
correct.
Right. That's not right.
It can't be right.
So unless you played these, you might have had a couple more games than you thought before Christmas break.
Are you sure we did? That wasn't just during the regular season.
Yeah, I think.
Well, I'm trying to, because it doesn't broke down like,
But I mean, I think we played South Callaway in the regular season.
I think we did
okay,
too.
so
That
you would have
year.
played, was Montgomery in the Callaway tournament then? They moved in there, and now they're back out. But let's just keep going down, we'll figure it out. So you guys played South Callaway and you won 59-28. And then you played Pacific and you won 61-46.
What game did Tim get hurt? That was Herman tournament.
Was it?
Well, that would have been further down
Okay.
the list here. So, and then you guys, I remember this game because I was there. You guys went down to Borgia and you lost 47-58.
Yeah.
And Adam Meyer, I know
Yeah.
Adam had a hell of a game that, am I
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Shellick had 2 dunks in like the last 30 minutes or 30 seconds.
We didn't play very good at all.
No.
We missed a lot of shots. But that was a fun game to play.
Tim scored all 24 points in the first half.
Yeah.
Like he
Really?
scored all of our points. I don't know if that's ever happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, he scored all
every-
24 points in the first
Were you
half.
guys down at half? Do you remember? Because I don't have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were down.
We were down, but I don't think it was very. I don't think we were down very much.
We lost by 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was probably 8 to 10.
So we tied the
game.
game in the fourth quarter with like 2 or 3 minutes left. We had the game tied, and then a couple things happened, didn't obviously go our way.
A lot of turnovers that
And
game.
then, I think Jim Shellick had a couple dunks like right at the end of the game, put it out of reach. But I remember that gym. That's the fullest I've ever seen.
I was there. It was packed.
That's the fullest
Yeah.
I've ever seen St. Francis Borgia High School's gymnasium. I'll say that.
Well, this thing,
That was
we'll
crazy.
talk about this thing. If it was the following year, how full it would be.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we're going to talk about that here the next time. But I would just distinctly remember Adam getting a lot of balls at like the top of the key and either hitting them
yeah.
out there or doing a little dribble and kind of shooting. Am I right in my memory of that game? He had a hell of a
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, Adam was a.
Man, Adam had a motor. He never got tired.
So you guys play Montgomery. You beat them 78-52, and this is where maybe you're in actually the Montgomery tournament, maybe. Because you have Southern Boone up there, and you guys wouldn't play Southern
That
Boone.
would have been Callaway tournament.
Yeah, or Callaway. I
Callaway
meant.
tournament.
Yeah, Southern Boone would have been Callaway.
So you had Southern Boone, and you guys won 78-57, and then you played Lynn, which was probably been up there too, right? Or no?
No, that's weird. I think those might be out of
Maybe
order.
I think they're
Lynn.
out of order.
Maybe Lynn would have been. You guys would have had one. You know, sometimes they schedule. You have a game on so and so, but we'll schedule a game like on a Wednesday, or if you have a bye
During
or
the
something.
tournament?
Who's the game after Lynn?
Chamois, and then you
Oh,
play
that could have
Russellville.
been.
So Russellville would have been up there probably too.
No, Russellville was MFA shootout in Columbia.
Okay, so maybe you guys didn't do the Callaway.
Did we lose to Russellville?
Yes, maybe
Oh,
you
yeah,
didn't do
we lost.
Callaway because you were in that one.
I want to say Southern Boone. Wasn't that the championship game?
Yeah, it probably should have been.
Well, then you only played one game up there, unless
Southern
Montgomery
Boone-
was there.
I think those games. are
Okay,
out
well,
there.
this is what.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we're at Chamois.
Southern Boone did have some good teams though when we
Yeah,
were in high school.
they did.
Even like my senior year, we beat them in the Callaway championship, and they were a good team.
Okay, so
Russellville was the nasty one.
okay, Russellville, is that the MFA shootout?
Yep, that was in Columbia.
So you guys lost 44-52.
So Russellville had 3 losses coming into that game, but they were playing a schedule because one of those losses was to Vashon, and the other loss was to Rockbridge, who had Josh Kroenke. So they were playing a tough schedule. They had that 6'8" kid. He was a foreign exchange student, Igor,
Russia, yeah.
Igor something.
Yeah, they had good teams.
They were
Russellville did.
physical, and that game was physical. And I remember our crowd was getting pissed, like it was. And also both Hackmans were reffing.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I think
that got a little.
I think that's the one that
I don't know.
Strobel, coach, Mister, talked about all the time. That goddamn
Yeah.
Hackmans.
I don't know if.
He did, apparently, what's the boy's name?
Michael.
Michael didn't call squad, is what
Yeah.
he said.
Oh, that game up there was very loose. Like they let
Yeah.
everything go. It was physical.
Yep.
So who would have guarded this? Would Tim would have guarded the 6'8" guy? Because
Probably.
okay,
Yeah. Either that or probably Dustin.
okay. So
Justin
now,
got minutes on him.
so now this would be the break if it's correct. Would be the Herman tournament. You guys beat Wright City 84-41. You guys are I'm telling you.
Yeah, they're.
You're going to disagree with me, but if you look at the point differential, how you guys throttled people,
That's
I'm saying the 98 team, if you truly think about it,
Could have been the best.
the
could have
thing
been the
is,
best
though,
out of those
here's
three.
the thing, though.
What do you think, Keith? You fill me in.
So that conference, from the outside looking in, that conference in '97 was so much better. We throttled a lot of trash teams, is what we did. Now I'm not saying we didn't play well. We did. We moved the ball extremely well. We were a good team, but the teams we played, and I think that was always a sore spot for probably all of us, was knowing the talent we had and the teams we played. Because we'd go in the summer and we'd play teams in St. Louis, and you might not win all of them, but you'd hold your own.
Yeah.
Do you think Tim and Kyle wanted to go play Chamois 3 times a year?
No.
Wellsville, Wright City, No, we throttled them because they were trash. If we're going to be completely honest,
I'll agree with that.
I mean,
So who was the next game of that tournament?
You had Wright City, and then you played Herman, and you won by 23. You beat them 74-51. And then Warrenton, I assume in the championship game.
yep, that would have been.
And you guys beat them by 26.
That would have been
59-33. So we're kind of back on schedule, I think, now.
Yep, that would have been the championship up there.
So obviously,
But
I
the
was
Herman
there.
tournament is that was the game Tim went out. That
And
was
did
the
he
game
get
got hurt.
fouled, or did he get, or how did he break
Yeah.
his? Did you say he broke his foot?
No,
No,
it
no,
was his wrist.
His wrist.
It was the same bone that I broke.
Yeah.
Did someone undercut him the same way,
I
or?
think it did.
Yeah.
He fell like that and he landed on it.
Okay.
Yeah. Same exact thing.
See, in the academy, they say don't put your hands down, use your back, and you don't learn that as a kid. But
You learned that in professional wrestling.
yeah, did not put your hands down.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You got to take a bump.
To take your bump. So now you get in to basically the meat of you played 3 before Christmas, and now you're getting in the meat of the Four Rivers Conference. You beat St. James 69-46. This is the game where I mentioned to you earlier, Kyle, and I've talked to Keith about it. This was probably one of the best games that I saw you guys play all that year. You guys, and Owensville was good. You guys beat them 61-49, and that's when Tony Gumper probably had the best game of his life. Am I correct? And Josh had a hell of a game too, I think.
Tony might have had like 25 that game.
He had a hell of a
You
game
had like 9 or 10 or 11 assists that game.
because it was right here, and I remember sitting here watching that.
I think Tony had 25 that
Owensville
night.
was pretty big at that time, and they were pretty damn
they
good.
were.
And you guys just
They were.
took it to them. So
And see, we got small with Tim out. That's when I came back into the starting lineup. So we were small. We were we were guard oriented at that point.
Because I remember playing down low.
Yeah.
I played down low.
kind of like you were like Magic Johnson posting up.
Yeah, and I think we played a little zone too.
Yeah, we did.
Good points.
And you guys played Sullivan, you beat them 58-43. Then you played St. Clair, and you beat them by running up the score, Coach, 89-45.
That was
Yeah.
here. I remember that.
Yeah, we throttled them.
Yeah.
So, and then you get to Union. I don't have the players on there, but you lost to Union 55-58.
Dustin Penn was Conference Player of the
Did we
Year.
really?
He was tough. Jason Sohn was a big guy.
It would have been Jason's one I played with down there.
Michael Richardson was the point guard. I loved playing against him.
Probably Ryan Helfrich.
Yeah, Helfrich was there. Yeah, Ryan Helfrich. So they were a good team, and the only thing that sucked about that game is, what was it? We would have.
You'd have went undefeated.
We would have been undefeated. We still won conference
You did.
though.
You won, but you'd have went undefeated.
We would have went undefeated, which hadn't happened since
1990.
you guys.
Yeah. So then you guys played New Bloomfield 63-51. Bell, this probably
Those districts.
was Bell District?
No.
No, not yet.
Okay, so here's where we're getting a district here. So you beat Bell 72-47, and then you played Prairie Home again. Where is Prairie Home? Is that
Somewhere up by Jeff City.
I don't know,
Around
but I
that.
remember our
Boonville
fans.
area maybe, or
Yeah.
I
somewhere?
remember our
like-
fans chanting "Send Prairie Home."
We played them again, back to back
Yeah.
years.
And was that here again, or was that New Bloomfield again?
No.
That would have been New Bloomfield.
Yeah,
So, and you played New Bloomfield,
they were good.
and you guys beat them in overtime.
Yeah,
I
they were
do.
good.
42-37. Were they just?
That was that rat.
Were you guys just stalling,
Ratcliffe?
holding the ball, or was this a bad
I
offensive
think it was
night?
just a bad.
It was a
rough
physical kind of scrappy game.
game. Yeah.
That was the game I got my tooth chipped. It was physical. It was.
While I'm thinking of this, and you played with Keith, obviously another year. Did you even have a clue what he was about to do with it? Because I remember coming out and playing with him. When he started doing his magic out there, he's like, okay, does he even have an idea who he's going to pass it to? Dribbling through his leg backwards.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Were you like, okay, Keith, okay. Well, where's it going to go now, Keith?
Exactly.
I was probably talking at the same time.
Yeah.
So, you guys played New Bloomfield. Was that this championship game of district?
Oh, who we play next?
You play Silex next.
Yeah,
Yes,
it was.
So you play Silex. Was that down in Borgia again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I say this, and I've said it when I've interviewed, especially like the Herman, Dwayne Cretley, and the volleyball players. It's so good when you can get a sectional game close.
Yeah.
where you can get people that probably won't go to the next one can come down. And it was so close there. And it was like, Cretley was back when they played a lot of their regional games at St. George, so they didn't even have to really leave town.
Yep.
So it's really nice to have the crowd there. So you guys beat them by 26. Apparently that was probably there.
We
but-
beat Side Licks by 26?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was 89-63.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I think
think we
Silex
beat 'em
girls
that
were
bad.
there too.
So then you have quarterfinal, and you guys play Cairo. Is it Cairo or Cairo? How I
Yeah.
said? Do you have any? Where was that at? Do you remember? Was that Mexico
That
again?
was at
No.
Jeff City, Helias.
Jeff City Helias.
So you played at Jeff City one year, and you played at Helias
Nice.
the next.
Punch that
Okay.
guy in the head.
No,
Which
No.
was that?
that was.
You guys won
Was that
73-54.
Hannibal?
Yeah. 73-54, yep, I remember that.
So where do you? Then you guys had Marion County again for.
Beat them in overtime.
Yeah,
So that was 56-53. Was that at Mexico again?
Mm-hmm.
that's where the kid had the free throws at the end.
Yeah.
Was that the redheaded one? I'm thinking reddish blonde hair. He was
There
kind of
was a
stocky.
kid at the end of Marion County that was shooting free throws. And I want to say he made the first
He
free
made the
throw.
first and then he walked away.
He
Was
made
clapping.
the first free throw, but he also looked at the crowd,
Yep.
and I don't know if he told them to shh or something like that. He did something.
He
came
walked
back
away
and
from the
missed.
line and like clapped at the crowd and I don't know, did whatever.
Then I think he missed the next free throw, and that's what put it into overtime.
Yeah, if
I
he would
think
have made that
could've
game
won
was
the
over.
Yeah.
Like we would have lost if he had made that free throw.
And I don't have David's book doesn't cover the 98, so this is all from what you guys can remember. So going back to the Final Four again, and
Oh,
you play the ones you beat the year before,
yeah. And I remember
Bishop
playing
Hogan, and you
Bishop
lost
Hogan.
48-55 in overtime.
Good thing about it is I don't remember much about that game. All other than I remember we had a big lead right at the beginning of the game, and after that, I really don't remember.
I don't remember much of it.
It
I'm
was-
sure I was there, but did they press you a lot, or is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
It was just a flip of the previous year. Like we got out to like a 14, 15 point lead, and then all of a sudden they just, I don't know, we were making stupid turnovers and
A lot of bad decisions.
yeah,
So you go into the third place game.
And I don't
Yeah.
even remember who we played that game.
Woblo.
Yep.
Yeah, nobody. Josh had a really good game, so it was nice to see him go out his senior year with a good game. But
57-52, you won.
other than that, nobody cared.
Nobody, yeah.
We weren't up there to win
I
third.
didn't want to even play in that
No.
game, I'll be honest.
Well, someone said that maybe Coach didn't really kind of-
Coach wasn't into
until
it.
like the end. It's like, well, we got to try to win this now, or
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that.
When we talked to Coach, when we made Tradition of Excellence, he said, he goes, I feel bad for saying this, but he goes, my head and my heart weren't in it. And it wasn't until, what did he say, there was like 5 minutes left. We were up by 4 or 5, and he was like, doggone it, we can win third place at state. And then he said something just clicked, and then he was like in the game, to finish it out. But he said his head wasn't in it. And he even said, he goes, I don't know how you guys went out there and played after, the previous day, losing to Bishop Hogan. And that just goes back to, I think, all of our goals, too.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't go up there to lose. I mean,
Without getting on my phone, did Bishop Hogan win state that year?
No, they got
they
Hammered.
got beat.
By who?
by Fordland.
Yeah, that's
Which
who.
you guys play next year.
Yep.
They got hammered by Fordland.
Fordland was undefeated that year,
They
I
had
think.
like 20 or 30 points.
Yep.
So
I do not remember one thing about that third place game we played. Not one
No, I really don't either.
and
I just know Josh had a good game. That's all I really remember.
here's what probably would have been different: is if you guys wouldn't have won the year before.
thing. Exactly.
And you're just like, you know what, we're going to get third. That's better than we've gotten since 1970.
Yeah.
But you guys had so expecting to go back and do that again, and then it had to be a low.
Oh, it was.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
Don't worry.
Yeah, there was no.
It was a low.
There was no celebrating third place.
So since we don't have a lot of the other stuff, and I'm just going to go, I'm looking over the stats here provided by Keith here. I got the other two from your sister. I got two from Keith.
Yeah, that was a hard year adjusting, but Kyle didn't agree, but I feel like that was my favorite team. Because I really like, Josh and Tony, but I always tell people when this gets brought up that Chad Sider was my favorite teammate, my best teammate of all time, because he's a senior. I come in as a sophomore. I'm taking minutes that should have been Chad's. You know, I started when Kyle was out. I think I was the third leading scorer, and then I went to the bench. And then when Tim gets hurt, I'm back in the starting lineup. I'm taking minutes that are from Chad, and I was always hard on myself. So anytime, like if I had a bad game, and I had several of them, you know, Chad was always the first one to come to me at a timeout or after a game, tell me to keep my head up. Like, he was just an awesome teammate. And there was something, as much as I didn't like that year because it was so up and down for me personally, like I just liked, I really liked those guys in that senior class.
Well,
But it was a year to forget, man.
let me look here. Let me see. I'm going to look at, here's why I say you're a better overall team, and I know it's not all about scoring. The year before, Tim had averaged 23.5 a game as a sophomore. The next one was Kyle Wolfe, you at 12.7, and then 9. If you go to this year, you had much more balanced scoring. Obviously, Tim was hurt. He only averaged 18.2. You averaged 12.9. Josh averaged 12.5. You have Dustin Block averaging 9.8. And if you go by, and I know it's easier to get assists when there's set plays and someone can just shoot and score compared to, like we ran the motion. A lot of it you created on yourself, but to have two guards, you had 139 assists, and then Josh had 140. That is phenomenal.
Yeah.
To have two guards having that many assists.
We shared the ball. I mean,
Yeah.
we shared the ball. We knew how to pass the ball, cut. All comes back to fundamentals.
Yep.
That's what it all comes back to.
And I remember this guy because he always did it. And Coach always gave him the call when we scrimmaged you guys when it wasn't. Who do you think on the 98 team had the most charges?
Oh, Kirk Cook.
You are correct.
Kirk Cook.
Yeah.
How many do you have?
100%.
7, 8,
He had
10?
9.
Yeah.
9?
And I remember he'd always set up and I was like, oh, come on, Coach.
He always
Yeah.
got
Charge.
Yeah.
Yep,
So
Kirk
anytime
would
you
always
got a
get the
charge
charge.
in a game, you didn't have to run a shuttle in practice.
Yep, you got 6 walls knocked off. You didn't have to run.
Really?
So Kurt was always
He would have
was
been in
trying
so much
hard
better
to get those
shape.
charges.
He would have been in so much better shape if he would have
Yeah.
gotten all those charges.
So let's finish up here. We'll go on to the final one. What time is it, Keith? What time you say they play at 9?
9 o'clock.
You're going to be home in plenty of time.
We're good.
So we're going to go to the next year after this break, and we're probably, I don't know, unless they need to get up, I'm just going to stop and we'll start again because I know they have businesses to run. I'm semi-retired. I just got to get them clean the floors in the morning at the store. It's great.